Hi, I'm Nathan and welcome to Ninja Monkey, the place for all things related to Japan. I give travel tips, insights, create fun related videos, and I'm currently focusing on what's going on behind Japan's closed borders. So if you're a potential tourist, student, business person, or any other type of traveler, you've come to the right place. So join Team Ninja Monkey if you haven't already, and make sure that your bell notifications are on so that you don't miss any future videos. My aim is to put all the readily available information into one easy to follow video. I do the research so that you don't have to. And as always, all links are included in the video description so that you can do your own reading if you wish to. In this week's video, I will be looking at the COVID situation in Japan and giving you an easy to follow recap of how the vaccination program is progressing. I will continue to explore some Olympic related news and also look at the potential future of travel, some other interesting stories, and look at viewer comments too. So let's get started. Firstly, I have a brief overview of daily positives for you to have a good idea of how things are progressing in regards to COVID cases in Japan. COVID positive cases remain rather steady nationwide, although increasing slightly this week, with June the 30th having the largest recorded number of positives in a week, with 1,811 cases recorded across the country on this day. Bear in mind that these numbers sometimes change, as occasionally the previous day's full results are added to the next day, and daily figures are also dependent on the number of tests done on that day. All eyes are now focused on Tokyo, which has started to report over 600 daily cases. For example, just on the 1st of July, 660 new positives out of 7,998 tests were reported in Tokyo. With the Olympics only 3 weeks away and the whole world watching, it will be interesting to see what, if anything, is put in place in the coming weeks. I continue to be a firm believer that vaccination is potentially a way out of the situation, and keeping an eye on both case numbers and immunity will continue to help guide anyone wanting to make informed decisions in the future. So let's have a look at how Japan's vaccine drive has been doing this week. As of the 1st of July, there have now been 10,882,527 doses administered to healthcare workers, out of which 4,931,043 are second doses. This is an increase of 556,467 healthcare worker doses since last week's update. Additionally, 33,048,522 elderly citizen doses have now been administered. This also includes a second dose, therefore making it an increase of 7,511,447 elderly citizen doses since my last update. And looking at doses given to those under the age of 64, which I will from now on refer to as the general public, 1,890,608 first doses and 427,315 second doses have been administered to the general population, which means there have now been collectively 46,248,972 doses administered, including the second dose, to the whole population, which is an increase of 9,034,772 inoculations, including the second dose, since last week's update. Breaking this down further shows that 30,249,911 people have received at least one dose out of the population of 126 million and are now either fully inoculated or on the way to be fully vaccinated, making that 24.01% of the population having had one dose and 12.70% of the population that are fully inoculated with both doses. With a total of 6,818,280 jabs being given this week, including second doses, and daily doses now mostly reaching above the 1 million daily doses and mostly accelerating, we continue to see improvements in this area. Remembering that the Japanese government has indicated that they want to complete vaccinating the population by November, do you think they will be able to do this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, let's get a conversation started in the comment section. I love interacting with the community and knowing your thoughts, and I do try to answer to as many as I can. However, if you are interested in what I get up to on the daily, you can also check out my Instagram, where I'm a little bit more active. I am currently working on some other types of Japan related content, which I am really looking forward to sharing with you in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for those too. Tokyo, which only a few weeks ago lifted its state of emergency as previously mentioned, is starting to see a rise in cases, and Tokyo continues in what is referred to as a quasi-state of emergency. However, reports state that depending on the extent of the strain on the medical system, the government could reinstate a full state of emergency for Tokyo, with a decision expected around July the 8th, when International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach is due to arrive in Japan. If this is the case, then potentially Tokyo could be put in some sort of state of emergency during the actual Olympics. And with the July 23rd opening ceremony of the delayed Tokyo Olympics less than a month away, there is still much to be decided. Organisers of the Tokyo Olympics continue to consider a ban on spectators at the opening ceremony. People familiar with the discussions say such a decision would be based on whether current coronavirus-related restrictions on activity in the Japanese capital are extended. And as Olympic delegations arrive, special entry lanes for Olympic athletes and officials have opened at the two international airports serving Tokyo, Narita and Haneda. The lanes are part of a bubble approach to curb the spread of the virus, keeping Olympic arrivals separate from ordinary passengers at immigration and at the airport exits. However, the President of the United States, President Joe Biden, will not accept Japan's invitation to attend the Olympics, with a chance of the First Lady attending in his place. The President is not planning to attend the Games. He will certainly be rooting for the athletes, as will I. I'm kind of obsessed with the Olympics, but that's not his. We will have a delegation from the United States, as we have historically had, Sasaki said. But we will continue to also convey the public health guidelines and guidance that we've been delivering out there about only essential travel. The Tokyo Olympics organisers have also extended the duration of the opening ceremony on July the 23rd by 30 minutes to allow extra time for the delegations to enter the stadium at a safe distance. The athletes are supposed to walk at least 2 meters apart as a COVID-19 precaution. So, in actually a slight change of tone, but continuing with Olympic related news, the BBC have released their Olympic advert or promo, and I thought it would be interesting to get your thoughts on it. I'll only highlight a few scenes and I'll leave a link in the description so that you can check out the whole video after watching this one naturally. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Is this the way that you imagine or visualize Japan? Do you think they've done a good job depicting Tokyo or Japan? Various Japanese comments have actually been quite interesting, ranging from comments like "looks like China" or "there's too much Hong Kong mixed in" to "it's like cyberpunk." In my experience, this is perhaps the image that I had of Japan before visiting, but since my many visits, I'd say Japan isn't quite like this. However, I guess this is what happens when you only focus on big cities like Tokyo or Osaka and combine the elements foreigners might be attracted to and combine them into a video. What are your thoughts? I'd love to know. In other travel related news, especially for onsen lovers, the popular tourist spot in Odaiba, the hot spring theme park Oedo Onsen, has announced it will be shutting for good this September as its fixed lease term expires at the end of the year. Unfortunately, I never got to visit and this location was on my to visit list, but it looks likely that this will never happen. Have you visited? Would you consider this a tourist spot? If so, was it worthwhile the trip, and are you sad to see it go? We will, however, have to see if what seemed to be a popular attraction for both domestic and foreigners will pop up elsewhere in Tokyo. And looking into tourist hotspots, it's actually encouraging to see that most have actually reopened, with only a few closed indefinitely for now. However, my understanding is that there has been an effect on businesses such as souvenir shops, restaurants and coffee shops surrounding many of these tourist locations which remain closed. I am hopeful that many will bounce back once tourism returns, but I can imagine this being a slow process to begin with. And although the first tourists back might reap the benefits of empty streets to begin with, the downside might be a lack of tourist related stores, which in my opinion adds to the atmosphere of many of these places. Would you prefer quiet tourist spots with no or little cultural atmosphere, or would you prefer to return when things are back to normal? And what do you think tourism will be like when we return? So as we look forward towards future tourism, one thing is for certain: the Tokyo Olympics, with all its ups and its downs, will certainly pave the way for a bright future once tourism returns. New tourism related infrastructure will increase productivity, capacity and attraction. Not only are there improved transport links, for example the added Yamanote Line station and the expansion of Terminal 2 at Haneda Airport, which was partly done to create capacity for the surge of Olympic visitors and was previously domestic only, this will surely serve for a better future tourism experience. The fact that many stations and leisure facilities have been modernized with new easy to follow signage and facelifts will only mean an improved experience once travelers are able to enter the country. Ralph Hollister, travel and tourism analyst at Global Data, comments, "The positive aspects of Tokyo 2020's tourism legacy will offer no quick fix for the amount of investment that will be lost due to no international visitation and restricted domestic visitation. However, it offers benefits for Japan in the long term and will assist the nation by creating a more robust and varied tourism product for future years." So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that in the long run the Olympics actually has a silver lining and things will actually be better for tourists moving forward? I don't know, let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching this far. I like to answer or highlight a comment at the end of each video, so start sending in the questions and I might select yours to feature. I also hope that you can also join me in a future live stream where I can answer you directly. So viewer BCGEN says, "As a student that's majoring in international business, finance and minoring in Japanese, I am required to visit to Japan, so I'm just confused why I wouldn't be able to go in the country with vaccination and testing. If you can include visas and such in the end of your next video, you will be a god." So I really wanted to answer this question because I get many similar questions regarding the issue of entry with visa, especially from students. I've replied to this many times, but I don't mind repeating as I'm aware that there might be new visitors to the channel. And I actually made a previous video related to this topic called "Who and How Can You Enter Japan?" Unfortunately, nothing much has changed in regards to entry into Japan, and pretty much all visa programs have been suspended, including business track and student entry. Only Japanese residents, long-term residents, or specific people with exceptional or special circumstances are able to enter Japan, and even then it's quite a long and difficult process. Some government-sponsored programs have indeed been given special entry permission, for example MEC students and people on the JET program, but for now, no one else that I'm aware of. I still hold on to the hope that more clarity will come soon after the Olympics and Paralympics have concluded, and as always, I will continue to look in this area and update you when this actually happens. I know this might not be what you wanted to hear, but I hope it clarifies the situation whilst you wait for future information. As always, I continue to recommend you contact your embassy or place of study and pressure them or ask questions regarding this matter. And if anyone has any further information to share, I would very much appreciate you let me know so that I can share it with the community too. Anyway, thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. If you've watched this far, then hopefully it means that you liked the video. So please support me by liking the video, as it tells YouTube that you are interested in this type of content. And if you found this especially useful, then how about sharing it with like-minded friends or in Facebook groups, for example. And as always, let's get the conversation started in the comment section. I do try to respond to as many as I can. I'd love to know your thoughts. So till next time, arigatou gozaimasu, gracias, thanks, bye.